Okay, so this is approximately gold 3 right now. We're going to be taking a look at Azir in the mid lane today. Azir is definitely a champion with late game potential. His early game though, pretty bad. Playing into a Talon. It's probably not the best matchup for Azir. So let's take a look at how this game starts off. Okay, we have a small invade. Red side decides not to. Bunch of pings come out. Okay, so your bot lane kind of got vision of them walking in, then walking back into this brush, so you know that everybody is on the bot hand side of the map. So if none of your teammates are going to do it, you can see your jungler, ADC support right here. So if none of your teammates are going to do it, you should come over here and drop the pixel brush ward. Optimally, Kaisa or Zach would do it in this situation, but they're not going to. Uh, Then again, jungle matchup is sort of brain dead. Zac versus a Mumu, so neither one of them are particularly carry junglers. And if they do get into a fight with each other in the river, it's going to be a really long, drug out fight, which is going to favor a Mumu ultimately because Talon is going to have realm priority on you. Plus, his terrain scaling and stuff makes him more able to join skirmishes, especially early on, even considering his rush items. A lot of talents favor like Moby Boots, and if not, then a Ghost Blade. But one of these two brushes should definitely be awarded right here or right here. Not that it particularly matters in this matchup, but it's just good habits. Give your jungler information. So Azir is actually your basically your second most played champion. You're like an ADC main, and then when you're off roll, I guess you queue secondary for mid and play Azir. Which is really good because Azir as a champion is actually very similar to AD carry in the way that he functions. I think for a time, maybe still, he was listed as a marksman by Riot in the little game client thing. So here is the pillow fight I was describing in River. Obviously, this has been ongoing for a lot of time now. I've been watching it on the mini map. However, you have Talon so far shoved in that he can't really do anything about it. Brand Flash, Sack Flash, and first blood is going to go over to the Brand Ignite. Okay. This is really good for you because you're getting low on mana anyways. You should be looking to shove this wave and recall. Yep. Come. Whoa. What is this? What canceled the recall here? Nothing popped up. Uh, what's your goal at? Are you like waiting for... You have 1200. What are you still in lane for? You just gave Talon the one thing that he needs to succeed in this early game. Like, Talon needs to be able to shove and roam. Like, that's sort of what he does. And he would never be allowed to do that if... Barrier. Yeah, he would never be allowed to do that as long as you just continuously shove him in. So that was your perfect opportunity to go back, restore your mana. Because you can't really punish him anymore. So this is like really, really bad. And you can't freeze this because you don't have the mana to use your abilities as liberally as he does, especially with a corrupting pot. Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of that thing I was describing, like any fight that takes place in River is going to favor Talon. Doesn't matter really like the circumstances behind it. It's going to favor Talon, which means it's going to favor a Mumu. Uh, like even though you're close and this fight ends up coming down river, so technically you're closer to it than he is, but you are still unable to get there because it's Talon. And in a large part, you're stuck in this position anyways because you didn't take that back right here. Like you canceled it. So I definitely consider that fight like on you. You would have been able to come back full mana, shove Talon in. This fight would have occurred. You would have walked back. Talon would have been trapped under tower. He would have never been able to do anything. Okay, so this is definitely going to be a roam style Talon. So he's doing what he needs to do, which is get himself in a position to push and then look for kills on other sides of the map. You can tell that because of the Tiamat. So he's probably going to have lane priority at all stages from this point on. Azir is sort of a champion that needs time to like ramp. I'm not sure why Talon's choosing not to play this super aggro. I mean, he could easily take trades, like, he has sustain advantage because he has Tiamat and Corrupting, but I don't know what he's doing. Sugo, we drop our pink and river. Okay. Okay. Let's look at this again. I feel like we might have been able to do something here. Okay. You know what? If you barrier instead of ult right there. So let's look at what he's doing right here. Okay, so he's gonna come into you right here. He's looking for an all-in one shot, but he doesn't have that kind of damage. So if you let him continue to come into you, Q, whatever, you can get 2 more autos on him with the soldier or whatever. Then you can bump him with the ult, and I think you just kill him. Maybe it takes 3 more autos, whatever, but you would certainly have time to do that. You just pop barrier to be safe. I don't think that he necessarily has the damage to one shot in that situation, but you would know a little bit more about the matchup, I would assume, with your experience on your champion. But there's like certainly no way he kills you there. I do know that. Hit the tower. Go hit mid. Talon's a melee champion, and this Talon doesn't know what he's doing. And you can tell that because he's not playing this lane properly. Like he should be able to jump in on you and force your cooldowns and out sustain you, but he's choosing not to. which means that he doesn't actually know what he's doing. So if you walk up into this vicinity, yeah, just right here, get a soldier under the tower, hit him every time he comes for the minion wave. You can get a plate here. Nice. Okay. Why do you dislike pressing the B button? Like, is it, do you have like something sticky on your B button keyboard? You like drop, some type of soda on it once or something? You really don't like pushing that button. This was another opportunity. So you walk forward, you grab a plate, you walk backwards, you come over here, you recall. Instead, like, you just got stuck in the exact same situation that you put yourself in earlier. Now you're in the lane with no mana. Talon comes back, he just based. He now has item advantage. And we've already been talking about how he has sustain advantage via the Tiamat and the corrupting pot. So not only does he have item advantage, but he has sustain advantage. Yeah, you kind of fucked that one up. Okay. Just go back. Like, you have to back here. I know what your thought process is. You're thinking like, well, if Talon's not in the lane, then I need to shove and punish him for not being here. But you're already putting yourself, like, you've already been in a bad position because you should have backed like 2 or 3 waves ago. Yeah, there's like no reason you should be sitting on 1700 gold right now. Like, you need to get your items and continue to be able to press your advantage over this Talon. Because this Talon's an actual fucking ape who doesn't know how to play. Yikes. RIP Cannon. 2K19, never forget. So Talon's gone. You kind of need to be proactive pinging that. Like, because of the nature of Talon, like who he is as a champion, you need to ping like obnoxiously. Like, if you don't see him for more than 3 seconds and you see him walk away, and then you don't see him for more than 3 seconds, you need to ping the direction that he went, or the direction that you think he's going to go. Also, he was down there getting involved in those kills, so you should be hitting the mid turret right now. There's nothing for you to accomplish here. I'm not sure if you're trying to look to like 1v1 Talon when he comes back to lane or something, but it's probably safe to assume he's not going to walk back to lane. Like, he left, he shoved his wave, he left. He got some kills or whatever. Yeah, he did get the kills too. That kind of sucks. So he got his kills. Probably not going to come back to lane. He does end up coming back to lane. This is pretty bad of him because now he's sitting on 1500. 1500 gold is a lot of gold. Like, you don't want to be sitting on that at 13 minutes in the game. So he also kind of screws the pooch on this one a little bit. There you go. No, stay up there. He should have to eat those auto attacks every time he goes for a CS. That's really the only way to beat that style. The shove and roam style, you have to harass them when they shove and hope that you can take enough of their HP so that when they do go somewhere else, maybe they have a couple hundred HP missing and someone can take advantage of that and get a kill. Okay. Okay. Yep. Good. Deny Talon the kill. Good. Are you backing? Get 1250. Probably have enough to finish an item. Go stand up there. What's he gonna do to you? He's already taken that much HP damage. Do you think he's just gonna dive on you? Like, he might be able to kill you, sure. He's got his full completed Ghost Blade. Ghost Blade. He's got TMI. He might be able to kill you. But you just chunked him out that much in such a short period of time. I really don't think he's gonna jump on you. Plus, like, you should be able to trust, like, your mechanical skill. Like, okay, if he's coming, then I can, you know, QE, try to dodge the return. So you don't really need to dodge the one going out, you need to dodge the one coming back. So it's like, okay, if he throws that skill shot, then I can dodge out of the way, make something happen. Again, you're like canceling your back, man. Get that fucking sticky keyboard, man. Also, you need to work on your Q placements. Like, Azir is your second. So I would say it's like your most played off-roll champion. Yeah, your micro on him isn't like optimal. Like, you're constantly putting your soldiers in a position where they can't quite make it to where you want them to. Damn, you're super dead here. Yeah, I mean, maybe if you have like mana, that situation could turn out differently, but you would have had to taken that back from a minute ago in order for you to have mana. So, as a fun note, I know that you're an ADC player, so when I first initially was watching this game, I was actually watching the Kai'Sa the entire time, and I got about halfway through the game, I got about to this point in the game before I realized that you were the mid in this game and not the ADC. So, you know, watched half of this game for nothing. Feels bad, man. You're not pinging that Talon again aggressively enough. Like I said, it'd be like 3 seconds. I know, like, your teammates are gonna flame you, like, stop fucking pinging, all that type of shit. Just ignore them. Ping that shit out. When you're playing like against a hyper roam assassin, like Talon or Costin or Blanc or something like that, like, it should be your top priority to ensure that they can't snowball. And the best way for you to prevent it is to not die to them in lane, which you're doing a good job of. And then secondarily, to make sure that your teammates don't die to their roams. And the best way to do that, if you don't have like teleport or you're not going to do anything about it, the best way to prevent their deaths is to just obnoxiously ping. Like, maybe they listen, maybe they don't. Again, right? We don't really care what they do. We set up our habits. You could have gotten that cannon and that melee right there. That's what I mean, like, your micro is weird. It's definitely like your Qs. Really need to work on those. I think he did it again. Let's watch this in slow motion. Okay. Okay. Yep. Respect the Amumu. Okay, now soldier, soldier. So you put your Q a little bit too far to the left. And then like you missed that Q. And now you can't even hit him with the soldier. So let's get the exact placement of this. Okay, step back. Boom. Okay, so right here, soldier should be right here, right here. Like basically on top of each other, right? So that way you can attack left for the Talon, you can attack right for the Amumu if the Talon doesn't come in. But your soldiers act as like zoning tools. Like every mage has some type of a zoning tool. Like Ziggs bombs or control mages have like CC they can drop on the ground, like Victor, Anivia, that type of stuff. Every mage has something that makes champions not want to go near it. For Azir, that's his soldiers. So Talon wants to come in here and kill this brand, 100%. But if you drop soldier, soldier right here, Talon knows that he's going to have to eat a lot of damage, and he's going to reconsider and maybe say, it's not worth it, I'll look for another opening somewhere else. If you can slow down an assassin, like you don't have to kill them, you just have to disrupt what they want to do. And if you can't disrupt, then you must punish it. Yeah, but you put your soldiers like over here or something. Here. Should be like very close right here. So too far to the left. Okay, then you summon. No. From where they are, you need to go further out. Because at this point, like, I don't even think that they should try to kill this Zac right here, if I'm being honest. I think that they got a good kill right here on the brand, or they're trading like Pike for brand. Like, this is totally fine. Both of them are pretty low. I think both of them should just back right up through mid lane. So your soldiers should be like out here in anticipation of this, because I don't think that they're going to come in on you, and you have ultimate. So even if they do, you're totally fine. Wait, what's the damage on that right now? 330. So Talon's only got 447, so you can actually kill him if he comes in on you. Amumu definitely a little bit harder. So your soldiers are, so they were too far to the left over here, and they're still too far to the left over here. See, and now you got to run them down with like your shitty ass auto attack. You don't even get like a soldier on them. Okay. Yes, Kai'Sa's missiles are going to pick that one up. Okay. So yeah, definitely your Qs. Your Qs are the number one. So the number one thing is your back timing. Okay? Take your backs when you can. Stop greeting out. Stop trying to sit on fucking 2,000 gold. But number two, like right now, why not back? You got 1,000 gold. So that's enough to go finish a, whatever. You can pick up a Stinger. You can pick up the Fiendish. I assume you're going for Nashor's Tooth next. I'm not sure like how Azir is building these days, but I don't see why Nashor's Tooth would be a bad item. Okay, that was a great pair right there on the Amumu. That's good. You just wasted their Rift Herald. It's really, really good. You get a pick on the Zac. That's really good. And you have Vision of Talon, so he's not going to be able to work that angle. So you guys should be looking to siege right here. I mean, you killed their Pike, which is a big factor in team fights because of his ultimate reset potential. So the 5 of you can actually shove down mid right here. I know this isn't 5s, this is solo queue, so you can't really coordinate it. But the 5 of you can just walk down mid right here, and you can actually take this tower, especially because Talon's sitting off in this brush, and there's nothing that he can really do with a flank, especially because you're Azir, you have a wall, and you can just bump him away if he ults in. Like, Rengar, Amumu, Vayne have no wave clear. The Vayne has Bork, not Static Shiv. So they have no wave clear, so the 5 of you walk into this tower, the 3 of them just have to walk away. And then Talon just has to retreat back through Raptors. So there's nothing for him to do when you're grouped as 5. That's a good cue. Okay. Slow this down. I can't even see the soldiers behind like all this bullshit that's happening right now. There's like so many particle effects. I'm glad you fucking know where they are. I mean, this fight looks like it went pretty well. I just want to watch it again because I literally can't see the soldiers. That's a good wall. Flash was like a really scared Flash. I guess you were trying to get away from the Talon, which is fine. It worked out. Okay. Yes, that's not that bad. That was a good cue to finish the fight. So you need to have consistency with the cues. It's obvious that sometimes you can hit them. Okay. Now recall. I mean, like, so you can say, like, well, I'm full HP and I have blue buff, so my mana is fine, but, like, you're just not being combat efficient. You're sitting on 2,500 right now. The only, like, correct play, if you're not going to, like, recall right there, it's because, like, you know, okay, these guys are going to go to Dragon, but you don't have any vision in or around, so you didn't know that's where they were going. But if you happen to know that that's where they were going on spawn, then you can shove this, then you can loop back around after you take blue, you take wolves, you loop back around, you eat this wave, then you shove this wave, which you'll meet like probably right around here, and you know that they were a dragon, so you can meet this wave here safely, exit out through their topside jungle, see if you can snack Krugs or something, or if you need the tempo, like if they come right off a dragon and start sieging down mid, obviously you're not going to go eat the Krugs, but if they're not visibly doing anything, or you see like some of them trying to catch a wave down in bottom or something like that, you can tell that you're not going to be needed, you can come here. Again, this is a play that you can only make if you know that they're going to dragon, which you don't. Nashers is completed. Next item, Death Cap, maybe? I don't know. Azir's a pretty unique champion in the way that he builds. You're not here for this fight. You know the reason why you're not here for this fight? It's because after taking wolves, you went mid and shoved that wave instead of recalling. And then that fight would have never occurred if you did the other play that I said, which was come directly to mid, push that wave, push the next wave, and then exit out through their left-hand side. There wouldn't have been a fight had you done that because the champions would have been in different, it would have been a different map state. The enemy team would have been more grouped around mid rather than trying to group around Tribrush to catch the incoming wave that you would have crashed. No big deal. Back timings is number one though, for sure, for sure. You're like way too greedy with it. Kill the pink. Did you not like see it when you walked through the brush, or I guess you didn't see it. Some people don't have their camera on their champion like while they walk through Fog of War. Like if you're watching other lanes or other champions seeing what's going on. Yeah, you hard win this. This is really good. Can't complain about that. You go do Baron. Talon's bottom. It's only up to an Amumu steal. Good. Where are you going? Gonna go hold mid? Okay. I mean, you can trade this mid tier 1 to Vayne in exchange for Baron. It's totally worth it. Where are you going again? You got 2,000 gold? Just recall. You know what I want you to do after you watch this? I want you to take a good long look at the B button on your keyboard, clean it off, make sure it's not sticky anymore, make sure that it's good to touch, put something soft on it, I don't know, get a like little fuzzy patch or something calming. Throw it on that B button, make you want to press that B button. If you like, you know, clicky mechanical keyboards, go replace your B button with a clicky mechanical B button. Make the rest of the keyboard just regular, non-click. Do something, because you need to be hitting that B button. Yeah. Okay. We're trying to catch out a Fedronecton. This can be dangerous. Good. Yeah. Should be dead. Well, you get a little bit too close to him, but yeah. You have flash, so it ends up working out. So just for sake of say we didn't have flash or we didn't feel like we had to use it. So this ultimate was anticipatory, but he E'd exactly as you threw it. So that was really, really good. Oh, that's what you did. So you E'd into him. So you can't do that. Honestly, I don't know why you would E into him. That's, I mean, I guess it has pretty good damage on it, but I don't know. I feel like this is like the one person on their team right now that you don't want to shift into. Like, you could have just continued standing back and pushed. The soldiers were already queued onto him. So you could have just continued standing back. You really didn't need that E. Unless you were really trying to, like, force him to commit to the fight instead of run away, but he already couldn't run away because he already failed his E. I don't know if you knew that, though. So, there's that. At this point, you can continue pushing top after you kill Renekton. I mean, Dragon is coming up. What kind is an Ocean? Yeah, nobody cares. Ocean on your team is even like a little bit less good than it normally would be because Zach isn't a mana user. Of course, you're not going to have mana problems with the Ludens. So yeah, if it were me, I would say after killing Renekton, you can just stay top. Like, you're really, really strong right now. You're pretty fed. You got really good items. So if you stay top, like, what are they going to do as a split pusher? You just basically solo killed Renekton, right? So that's the only member of their team. Okay, rookie mistake. What's going on here? How do you guys manage to throw a fight this badly? I guess the team itself isn't really ahead. Top lane got dumpstered, but I feel like Fed Azir and Fed Kaisa. Why does this fight go so badly? Let's have a look. Okay. Okay. Yeah. The vein. You got a soldier there. Yeah. Okay. Amumu dealing a ton of damage. You have to ult back the Amumu. That's unfortunate. And then you got a dip set. You're gonna die. Yeah. So I guess it really was just the Amumu ult that did that much. I guess Zach was already pretty low by the time Amumu came in. Yeah. Yeah, so it was just the Amumu. I mean, you could have switched your focus to Vayne a little bit sooner, but I don't know, because then Pyke might have gotten that triple reset right there, so that's kind of hard to say. Um, you definitely had E up at the time that Amumu went in on you, though. Oh, but you didn't have Q to reposition it. Well, yeah, you did. Right here. So we see Amumu coming in. Okay, and we could have QE'd to the side brush here. Or something just to get away from him. I don't know where your screen is in these fights. But, I mean, you're killing the Pyke, so I can probably assume that your attention is somewhere else. But, I mean, we know what a Mumu does as a champion, right? He Qs onto somebody, he walks into the biggest group of enemies he can find, and then he presses R. So right now, you're in the biggest group of enemies that I can see. So you're probably in the biggest group of enemies that he can see. And he flashed on you. That's hella unfortunate. Well, it is what it is. Sometimes you get flashed on. But you could have definitely predicted Amumu would get onto you in the first place. You could have QE'd to the side brush anyways. You probably would have been able to kill Vayne without the Amumu impacting you, and then you wouldn't have had to ult him. You would have ulted the Talon, who would have jumped the wall to kill you because you're the only one that got out of the Amumu ult. But you can kill Talon easily with your items right now. Especially like if you land your ult on him, like you'd have to grievously misplay in order to not kill him. You guys are grouping up like next to Baron. Not really sure why, because Baron's not spawning. Unless you know something I don't. Okay, yeah, so you guys must have been looking at the timer. Okay, we're gonna siege outer. Azir is really, really good at sieging. Like, you're getting to that point in the game where Azir just shines right now at doing what you're doing. So position more forward, place your soldiers in between you and them. Okay. 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 Nope. Almost. Oh, super unfortunate. Alright. What went wrong? I mean, the way that you ulted Talon was really, really bad. So your positioning was bad. You need to be standing right here, hitting the tower. You need to be standing with your team. Like, you need to be hitting this right now. Okay, Mumu's coming in again. You might want to just WE away from him immediately. Or your other option is to just ult him out immediately so that you don't get caught. Okay. And then you shift back in. I don't know what the hell that was. And then you don't have a soldier hitting Vayne. So, like, let's think about how this fight could have gone better. Okay. So, as Azir, you can just push him away right now. When he comes in, you can just boop him out. And then you're delaying the fight from happening. Now, somebody's still going to get caught by Pyke, probably. Either Zac or Trundle. So one of them is going in. Which is totally fine, because it means that Amumu's not landing a 4-man ultimate right here. In this bubble. Or, let me see your cooldowns. Yeah, you have 2 soldiers right now, so you can just W and E to it. So you're also not... This has been a trend as well the last couple skirmishes or whatever, the last couple fights. You're not proactive enough at keeping yourself safe. Like, you position safely, but you don't reposition safely. So I think in your mind, you set yourself in an okay place. Like, you're always deliberately away from the enemy team. Like, even when you should be hitting this turret, you're like way out here in the brush when the enemy's way back here. Like, it's obvious that you position not to die. So number one, the issue with that is then you're not contributing as much as you could because you're being too cautious. That's definitely a thing. And that's why you have such good KDAs. Like, I looked up your OPGG before doing this review, and you have really, really great KDAs on all your top champions, but most of your win rates are negative. And it's probably because you're getting kills, sure, like you're good at not dying, but you're not good at actually contributing to team fights. So that's number one. And the number two is you can't just be safe once. You need to be safe constantly. So that means that you need to be really conscientious of threats to you on the enemy team, not just the obvious ones like, oh, there's a Talon, but the less obvious ones like this Amumu is going to maybe flash on me over here, or this Amumu is going to try to Q in and walk up and press R. Like, we know what Amumu does. So whenever I see Amumu coming in, if I'm playing Azir, I ult him out immediately. But I'm not an Azir player. You are. So what you can do instead is just WE to it, and that sets you safely away from it. It's a long cooldown, but it is what it is. Okay, so he does tag you in the Kai'Sa in it. So you immediately pop barrier and ultimate. So another thing you could have done, instead of ulting the Talon, you could have ulted them back, because your wall stands there and continues to bump. Where are you? I can't click on you. Fuck, where'd you go? Yeah, you can ult them back as well. It lasts for 3 seconds, the wall. So you ult them back, which kind of prevents this fight from happening in the first place. Like, then from that point, yeah, Talon's going to be able to get the dive on you, but Kai'Sa's already Zanya's, or whatever, stopwatch. No, she has Zanya's. So Kai'Sa's already Zanya, so she's going to live the Talon burst anyways. You're going to bump all 3 of these guys back. Amumu is in stopwatch. No, he's got his Zanya's too. Okay, so he's in stopwatch right now, so he's not contributing to the fight. You set up the wall. It prevents these 3 from actually contributing to this fight at all. Unless Zac is an absolute fucking monkey and he would ult them over your wall into you. I wouldn't put it past him. I'm just exploring opportunities for this fight. So I would say ulting Moo or shifting out of it. Number one, right? Number two, I think that this Talon ult is bad. Because it's Talon, so he's just going to jump the wall anyways, right? He's going to get bumped back initially, but then he's going to jump the wall. So instead, you could have a 3-man impact over here compared to a 1-man impact over here. I mean, Talon comes in, she's in Zanya's, but you can just blow him up as 3. And this guy's not doing anything about it because he's also in Zanya. So you just blow him up as 3. He'll just insta-die. And then you can focus your fight forwards. Okay? Then we shift in, and I'm not sure why. I don't know if this is like a misclick or something. Okay, and then you don't have the Qs on Vayne. So you don't have your soldiers in a position where you're actually hitting her, and that's the reason that she doesn't die. See, you're auto-attacking her, it's not the soldier. So you guys are going to get aced. So 3 parts to that fight. Amumu wasn't respected, right? Ultimate on Talon was bad. Could have ulted the team if we weren't going to ulti Amumu. And then the third part of that is your soldiers still weren't positioned correctly to hit the Vayne. And she didn't do any of those like crazy like fucking challenger Vayne like final hour tumble, flash out of the brush, cutlass, reposition, heal something like. It was pretty standard. She was just standing in that spot. Like it's not like she would have been hard to Q, really. That's what I'm trying to say. You can shove one more wave here. And then you want to group with your team. Coming over here, we got Dragon up. It looks like it's going to be a mountain. They're fighting without you. I don't like that. Okay. Okay. So you should just be shoving this wave then. Like if they're fighting, you just go shove the wave. Because obviously, like you're not. Okay. Okay. You're probably not going to be able to hold this one. You can also be setting up your soldiers. Like you only throw like one soldier, but you can I don't know. I was gonna say that you can set up multiple soldiers at a time, but it doesn't apply additional damage. It does set the soldiers in such a way that you have more flexibility to use them afterwards. I guess that's sort of like a personal preference thing. That's like a choice. It's a choice you're choosing not to make. Good. That was good. The Baron Siege is lifted. You can assume they're going Dragon, so you can shove that mid wave and then just go to Dragon. Okay. 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 It's like really interesting plays happening there. Just as a point of contention, personally, I'm really liking teleport in the mid lane these days. You know, going back to like the double teleport meta and all that type of stuff from a couple seasons ago. I'm really liking it, personally. I think that you would have been able to get away with a little bit of a different playstyle, and you would have been able to greed for a lot of the things that you greeded for without giving stuff up if you did take teleport. I don't think that barrier has actually done anything for you. As a matter of fact, I only remember seeing you use it once. And that was right up here, and you died anyways because that fight went bad for the three reasons that we talked about. So you haven't gotten any utility out of barrier. But I guarantee that there's at least 2 to 3 points in the game where you would have 100% been able to teleport. So that kind of sucks. We ult it and got nothing for it. Feels bad, man. What's going on here? I want to have to see this fight again. Let me see the setup to the fight again. So we're sieging down on the tower. Okay, you need to be hitting this tower again. This tower should be down. Tower's only got... I can't see with this fucking chat thing here, but... Can I move this? Tower's, yeah, 600 HP. Tower would have been dead before Talon even came here. Right? The soldiers are fine here. And you can always threaten. You can throw a Q in this direction. Yeah, okay, so you do. And now you just walk up right here and hit the tower. Hit the tower. Like, you're so strong. You have Nashor's Tooth, you have Ludens, you have Death Cap. Not to mention additional AP from Zhonya's. Like, you would shred this fucking tower. You need to be hitting this tower. Tower would be so gone. And Brand wouldn't be here doing whatever it is that he's doing. Like, I think that so that's the number one of this fight. The tower should be gone already, and Talon shouldn't even have that flank position. Okay, then Pyke. Ah, damn. I was gonna say the ult was whiff, but it took it just in time. Okay, so you have to flash away from the Vayne. This is gonna be a fat Brand ultimate. Yeah. Okay. Did you queue the soldiers to right there? Because this is not a good spot. Let's see how those soldiers got there. I wish I could just like go back like 5 seconds, not 15 seconds. Time controls. Or if I could just like rewind it and then have it go backwards instead. Just like a little bit. Okay. Yeah, so you press Q like right here. So that's not good. So here's my advice for this situation, okay? And maybe this is going to help you in some fights in the future as well. So my advice to these types of things are, if you don't have a good place to queue, or if you don't know like really like, oh, where should I put this queue at this exact moment in time, then don't press the button and sort of just like wait another quarter second, another tenth of a second, think it out, or let champions reposition as they will, like walking around, casting abilities, going here, going there, going everywhere, and see where they end up, and then cast the ability. Like, this Q is like the saddest fucking thing I've ever seen. That Q is basically like the skill shot equivalent of a Mumu. If you would have saved it, then when you like came off of there and then you got dove like right here and then you got dove, you could have like queued to here. Which would have obviously been more optimal. Ultimately, that I think that fight is bad because the turret wasn't taken, so you guys overextended, and then for some reason Brand was the one watching the back line, even though he shouldn't be doing what he was doing. So he died before the fight really started. But I think that's 100% a consequence of. Damn. Yeah, that's 100% a consequence of the turret not being taken, which gives Talon the opportunity to flank, right? So that's uh that's gonna be that for the review. So number one, your back timings. So back timings are super important to obviously get item advantage over your lane opponent, which allows you to bully and harass them further. With the back timings and all that stuff, when I talk about bullying and harassing your lane opponent, also try to think about the enemy a little bit more and try to anticipate how good they might be. Like show respect to the champion until you determine that the player is bad, and then start disrespecting them. You respected the talent too much. And talent as champion, sure, fine. But that player, terrible. So there's no reason to do that. Um, yeah, and then your Q placements, super awkward inside of the fights. Maybe just try slowing it down, and instead of pulling the trigger on your Q right away, wait it out another tenth a second, another quarter second, see where champions end up, and throw it there. And then lastly, consider your wall placement. You don't always need to bump like the biggest threat to you on the enemy team. Like obviously that would be a Talon who's coming in, diving on you. But maybe if you can just bump the rest of the team away and then just blow up the Talon, right? Then Talon's just dead, and then the fight doesn't really have to progress. It probably will because, you know, low elo and NA and all that stuff. But the fight doesn't have to progress if their diver gets blown up immediately. So that's all I got for you. Any questions about that or anything that I discussed there, and we'll go over it privately.